Okay, so there's a lot of different ways you can learn NLP today. There's a lot of different trainings and books and so on out there, but one of the things that we think really is crucial here is to keep it pure.
So you're looking for NLP training. Well, in this video, we're going to talk to you about the different ways, and in our opinion, the best ways to begin learning NLP.
Yeah, no, in the early days, it was more difficult. NLP started in the 1970s, and I got into it in the early 1990s. Back then, it was hard to find good training. There were only a few places I could go. And I started doing NLP, did practitioner training, master practice, so on, went on to study with John Grinder, the co-founder, and absolutely loved it. Bandler and Grinder were the two founders of NLP, and Tony Robbins took their methods and brilliantly repackaged it all, and that became the way a lot of people got into neuro-linguistic programming.
Absolutely. In fact, back then, so other than the live events that you've just discussed, where you could go to a proper training in a classroom, etc., if you wanted to learn NLP, you were pretty much going to look at a book from Bandler and Grinder or the Tony Robbins books, and then, like you said, we had the live events that you could go to.
And we had the tapes, the Personal Power Tony Robbins.
Right.
Tapes.
You could call, 1-800 numbers and order cassette tapes or VHS tapes or whatever. Now the world is a totally different place. So let's talk about what are some of the options to learn NLP today.
Okay, so there's a lot of different ways you can learn NLP today. There's a lot of different trainings and books and so on out there, but one of the things that we think really is crucial here is to keep it pure, because NLP has spun off wildly since the 1970s. A lot of it really doesn't qualify as neuro-linguistic programming at all anymore, or just has a hint of it. We think it's really important to keep the pure strains of it that go back to Richard Bandler and John Grinder.
Okay, so let's start with just discussing some of the different options in terms of pricing. So there are free, there are low cost, and then there are even higher cost options to learn NLP. Obviously, with the free versions, you could look at YouTube videos like this one here. You could read blogs, of course, varying quality. And then, well, let's move up the price point a little bit. You can start buying books if you can't get them free at your library.
Yeah, if you can't get them free, and often you're not going to find NLP books in the library. They're just not considered mainstream enough.
And what authors would we recommend?
Well, Bandler and Grinder, Richard Bandler and John Grinder, my teacher, they're fantastic. They are source. But then there's a number of other really good NLP trainers like John Overdurf, Connie Ray and Steve Andreas, Robert Dilts, of course. There's some great trainers out there who put out some books, and those are tremendous authors to start with.
Yeah, absolutely. So when we say books, we're talking about whether it be a physical book, or sometimes you'll find audio books that are low cost, and you've got to read them. They're not particularly engaging necessarily, but they are very low cost. So let's move and talk to the next level. Right, you've got courses, right? You could invest in, nowadays, video training that is well architected, well structured to give you the essential skills that you need without necessarily requiring travel and a weekend of time.
Yeah, not breaking the bank, right?
Or more than a weekend. A lot of practitioner trainings, of course, are very, very, very long and expensive. So you can do an online course if you just want the basics. And one of the best places to start, no bias here, is our course, NLP Essentials. We'll put a link in the description below. But why is an online training like that maybe a great place to begin if you have something to invest?
You know, you don't have to travel, like you said. Online trainings, if they're done well, it enables you to watch over and over and over, that you don't get that advantage in a classroom. You can make sure you hardwire this stuff in. You can go at your own pace with an online training as well. And they are not expensive when you compare them with all the things Chris said with a live class.
Exactly. And if you're committed, let's say, to the even higher level, investing in yourself through a live training, then that's when it would be appropriate to invest in a full practitioner training or some sort of full workshop where you would actually go to a live event. You'd obviously have to expect to invest a lot more money.
And it is a lot of money. I mean, I did practitioner training, master practitioner, and then when I did trainer's training, that cost me $4,000 just for that.
Back then, yeah, that's probably $1 million today. With inflation adjustment and all that. But there you go. So you can do the low cost. You can start with books and YouTube videos and blogs and all that. And if you're going to go with books, make sure you stick with the purity, the original form, the authors that we recommended in this video. If you're interested in taking a video course, NLP Essentials is your best bet, and the link is in the description below. And then if you're really committed to mastery and getting together with actual people to practice, etc., then you should go and look for a practitioner training from a world-respected global trainer. So with that said, Go to the description, check it out, and make sure while you're on this page, subscribe to our YouTube channel. And after you hit the subscribe button, ring that bell so that you're always going to be notified of our next videos. Go to the description, check it out, and make sure while you're on this page, subscribe to our YouTube channel. And after you hit the subscribe button, ring that bell so that you're always going to be notified of our next videos.